All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, coming in with another video. This time on the Dewback Riders. I think this is probably one of the strongest Imperial units at the moment because of the free attack at the end with Relentless. 6 health, red save, surges to hit, 2 courage, can be mitigated with Vader, and they pair very well with Vader, which is also the strongest Imperial unit out there right now. So I'm going to talk about them, a lot of the different upgrades and benefits of each, and some different variations that you can choose. And so yeah, you'll have to leave a comment down below. I'm going to do a separate video on the winner for the token giveaway, and so good luck to all of you guys. And yeah, I'll go ahead just real quick. The shadow tokens are sold out. You guys have bought them all. Thank you guys so much. You know, I get nothing from it, but ComScan was kind enough to make them, which is benefiting me greatly from just having them. And I think they're such a great design. So reach out to him and ask, if he'll be able to get any more soon. Just to kind of show how popular it is among you guys. So thank you guys for that. So the winner is going to get the last and final set that is available. And if you guys want, you can head on over to the Clan of Shadows Patreon, where you're going to be able to help support the channel, help giveaways, help other people. If I ever play on TTS, which I'm trying to do quite a bit more, what you have to do is, if you are the top membership, basically, as the Shadow Clan commander, you are going to give me a list to play, and I'll play your list, and I'll, say who it is, who it's from, and yeah, so lots of benefits from joining Clan of Shadows, and you get extra points for the giveaway. And speaking of extra points for the giveaway, if you are in the Discord, starting back a month ago, actually, to June 1st, everyone who has leveled up is entered in to win extra points for the giveaway. If you left a comment in your subscriber, that gives you an entry. And obviously, if you're a Patreon member, that gets you an entry as well. But yeah, if you want to head on over to the Patreon or the Discord, this is a great way to kind of get an idea on different things that are happening right now. And if you've got lists from like Empire, CIS, GAR, Shadow Collective, then feel free to post them. I think it's a great idea to be able to see all of the things that you guys are doing. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So basically, the Dewback, it has armor 1, so it's a detriment but a good thing at the same time. It's a detriment in the fact that everyone's bringing impact guns, so all of the impact 1 is going to change a hit to a crit on you, and then armor 1 will obviously take away 1, but it's a free crit sometimes in some manners. But at least if you're in melee and they don't have any impact stuff in melee, at least you're canceling 1, which is pretty good, so it's a give and take. Relentless, which is the best keyword out there because it gives you a free attack action after a move, so as long as you have done a move, you get to do a free attack, which is super good. Reposition, which is really nice with the fact that you can really get around the board a little bit easier than bikes, because you can pivot 90 degrees before you do the move, and or after the move if you'd like. And spur, which is you give yourself suppression. You can move to speed 2 because they're naturally speed 1, so you'll be able to close the distance quite a bit. I kind of forgot the base size. And I only have the base sizes in millimeters. Wait, I have actually in inches. Okay, so let's see. So the Dewback with a speed 1 moves about 5.3-ish inches. And then if you do speed 2, you're going to move another 2 inches, obviously, from that. So about 7, almost. Like 7.3 something. So that's quite a bit of movement. So that's at least 14.5 inches. So that's beyond a range 2. And then you get a free attack. So Spur does really a lot. And if you pair him with Vader and get a free action from New Ways to Motivate Them, that's 3 moves. And so that's at least 21 inches. Close to probably 22 at that point. And then you have a gun. if you're not in melee at that point. And then unhindered, obviously, you don't have to worry about difficult terrain. And moving at speed 1, obviously you never have to worry about that anyway. But if you are spurring, then you don't have to worry about the difficult terrain either. So they have a shock and prod and claws, or a shock, prod, and claws, which is a melee only. It's critical 2 and suppressive, so 6 dice in melee is pretty good. With the fact that, again, they have 6 health, 2 courage, and surge to hit with red dice. Really great guys. And it's a support, so you're going to bring probably 2 to 3 of these guys quite a bit in your armies. So let's go over a few different trading upgrades that I think will be very beneficial for you. I think Into the Fray, we've seen quite a bit, is awesome because you're literally going to be getting as close to possible into melee with an enemy as fast as possible. And so you're probably going to want some surge tokens for defense so that you can stay alive a lot longer. So Into the Fray is a very cheap upgrade that is perfect. I hope they keep it at 4 points. It's definitely needed. So Into the Fray is a top 3. And then, Offensive Push could be really good. On the Hunt, not so much. Mission Objective now, I think being able to re-roll a dice against someone who is contesting a POI. This really allows you to go after that re-roll, because it's a free reroll as long as you exhaust this card. So it could be good. I think Offensive Push is going to be a little bit better, giving you that aim. And then Tenacity, I think, is probably the first upgrade take I usually would take is Tenacity. Unless you're taking the Flamethrower, in which I'd never take Tenacity because you're probably using the Flamethrower and not the melee. So, because this is Tenacity only occurs when you're making a melee attack. So obviously you don't want to take Tenacity and then use the Flamethrower all the time. So, yeah. Now, if you're in melee, I guess technically you can use it in melee. So would it be considered a melee attack? Well, I guess so. I mean, hey, if Tenacity allows you to add an extra red while you're making a melee Flamethrower, then that's even better. So, okay, Tenacity, I would just say, is the top number one thing. Into the Fray is number 2, and then maybe Endurance would be number 3 because you're going to be spurring quite a bit. So removing a suppression, especially with the fact that you could panic pretty easily, Endurance could be great. But, again, I don't know if I'm taking it over Tenacity or even Into the Fray at that matter, but definitely the third option. So for the comms upgrade, comms jammer is going to be very popular because then as soon as you get into melee and you're around a whole bunch of people, being able to prevent them from getting orders is really, really nice. So comms jammer is probably, if you have the points, a top 3. Emergency transponder is also going to be really good. Whenever you don't give them the order, like Vader's 2-pip, and you need them to get an aim or dodge or take away a suppression. So this is definitely number 2, if not number 3. I think the top 1 is HQ uplink, because giving yourself an order, especially, again, at least one of the Dewbacks should have probably HQ uplink if you're bringing Vader's 2-pip, because it only gives it to 2 units. And so if you have 3 Dewback riders, one of them having HQ uplink will allow you to use the ability of that card to give it a wound and give it 3 actions. So HQ uplink, definitely for at least one of them, is going to be great. And then hacked comms is amazing. So if you don't want to take comms jammer because you just want them to get an order, then take hacked comms to give yourself an order, which is also really good because if you have Krennic with Cunning and they lay 1-pip as well, and then they've put an order on someone that the Dewback is in melee with, then basically your hacked comms is going to give you an order, and with Cunning you go first, so then you could just go with the Dewback rider and melee them, hopefully before they go, and kill them. Well, okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that anyway, but yeah, take that unit out, and then, save the unit that you were going to go with, and use that for someone else. So then the the three options for the pistol or the weapons upgrade. Gosh, it's been a long day. Sorry guys. So the flame rifle is probably going to be the best at the moment because everyone's bringing super squads and everyone is bringing lots of guys in their lists. I've seen huge Geos in the same list as huge P2s. I've seen at least 5s and Ahsoka jumbo squads. I've seen tons of squad upgrades being brought at this point. So I think the flame rifle for 10 points has definitely been made so much better. So if you can go with the flame rifle, go with the flame rifle. It's also going to be cheaper than if you did a flame rifle is going to give you 80. But if you decided to do tenacity and maybe a 5 points, obviously that's 1 point more. So just a flame rifle is actually going to be pretty decent. But just in case you want a ranged attack, the T21 is going to be really good because that gives you critical 2 for white dice, range 1 to 3. So no melee there. So again, tenacity would be a good choice at that point. And then the RT97C is range 1 to 4, a red and 3 white. It's definitely a lot better than it was before all of the changes with heavy cover. So now you might be able to get a little bit more through than you used to with the RT97C. And it's a long range, so at least you're doing some chip damage before you get into melee. But at the moment, I would have said about 4 months ago, before Ollie made the huge lists popular, or the low activation huge list popular, I would say the RT97C is a great way to go because of the fact that you're going to do some chip damage. But now the flame rifle is probably going to be the best option, because it's going to be 2 dice in melee instead of 6. So as long as you have at least 3 minis in that unit, you're doing pretty good. It's not critical, but it is blast and spray, and it is up to range 1, which is going to be good because, again, you can close that distance fairly quickly. 14 inches, and then another range 1 is 6, so that's 20 inches from where you started. You're going to be able to hit for sure. So if it's beyond range 3 away, you're going to be able to do pretty awesome things. So that's the Dewback Rider. Very simple, very easy support unit. Love these guys a lot. I've got 3 myself and enjoy using them quite a bit. Let's take a look at 3 different list ideas that I've come up with, just as small examples. This one is a very fun one that I enjoy using and probably will try to start using more. It's got Krennic with Improvised and Trusted Agent. It's got Operative Vader because, to me, that is the superior Vader. Everybody says the Commander Vader is best. Sure. Yeah. I guess. But it's 1 less health. It's 3 courage instead of null. But he's Master of the Force. Let's see. Jedi Hunter. You could possibly surge to crit, especially if someone dives in. Like Dooku or somebody, at least you don't have to worry about spending surges for offense. You can spend the surges from Into the Fray on defense. And his 3-pip, which gives you either Infiltrate or Reliable 2, you get an option with Operative Vader. With Commander Vader, you have to take Infiltrate. If you wanted to, maybe say that it's Bunker Assault or Breakthrough, you don't technically have to infiltrate. You can give yourself the Reliable 2 to use for defense or offense, because you might not be going up against a Jedi or Sith, but you can use those surges for offense or defense, and then Into the Fray can give you even more. So, yeah. And with the amount of dice pulls that are so big now, the more surges, the better. Much better. So, yeah, Into the Fray, and then Tenacity. So you still get your 6 red dice, and you also don't have to worry about bringing Saber Throw. I like Force Choke and Push because it's going to be basically Pierce 4 against enemy units that are not obviously operative or commanders. And then Force Throw, I don't have Burst on there because if you do decide to infiltrate, you can move, scatter, and then now you're at range 1 where you can probably Force Push. Or if you were able to move last turn, you can move this turn, use the scatter, get them in a base contact, or not base contact with scatter, then Force Push, and then move again, and then you're in melee at that point. And then you can Force Choke, and then you get pushback, probably. And then now you're in melee. You don't have to worry about force push again. And then you can force choke again at some point. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to be picking and choosing, but at least it'll be at least one time where you're doing Pierce 4. And or if, there's just one guy left somewhere else from your other units doing it, you could recover. If you're already in melee, you could force choke, and then you can melee and then bring back force choke again if you brought back force push last time. So it's a little finagling. Burst is also a very, very good option, yes. But if you're going to infiltrate, you don't need burst. If you are infiltrating, if you are infiltrating, you don't need burst. If you are not infiltrating, maybe you take choke. Burst. God, all right. Choke if you are infiltrating. Burst if you are not infiltrating. Yes. God, I'm sorry, guys. Din. I like Din with this loadout the most. The flame projector, because again, if you don't have one flame in your list, and you come up against a huge squad, you're going to be kicking yourself in the face. If you bring a flame in your list and you don't come up against a huge squad, you're not going to kick yourself in the face, and it's better safe than sorry, in my opinion, because even if it's like a B2 squad and you wanted to use the flamethrower and your spear, I mean, that's definitely more dice than you would throw in melee, and it's still duelist for Pierce. So you're still getting a pretty good, trade out of it. And then the jetpack to give him speed 3 and jump 2. So and tenacity to give him an even more chance of taking out a unit with 6 dice in melee, Pierce 2 possibly. So very close to a Jedi. And then you've got a snowtrooper unit with a T7 Ion and Imperial March. You've got 2 stormtroopers with the DLT stormtroopers for some extra long range. You've got death troopers with extra supplies to bring back the suppressive gun and to ready the range 4. So now you get, without having to recover, you can move, shoot to range 4. Next turn, move, shoot to range 4. And then by then, you could probably recover to get blast. And then shoot the range 2 guns that they've got. And take an aim, maybe. And every time you get an order from Entourage, you're going to be able to take off a suppression in case they have one. So extra supplies is extra. You don't need it. If you don't want it, don't take it. You can take it off, put an extra 5 points on the Scout Troopers for a frag grenade so that they all surge to crit. That could be good. And then I have a single Scout Trooper unit in here, 2 Dewback Riders with the Flame, and then an E-Web with the Barrage Generator for more suppression, and dug in. It's got Impact 1 and Surges to crit, so you don't have to have the Overcharge Generator. If you are going up against a lot more vehicles and armor, then obviously definitely take the Overcharge Generator and not the Barrage. But suppression can be really huge, especially with the fact that you're going to be using the Imperial Death Troopers to hand out 2 suppression each round, or for the first 2 rounds, and then the Barrage Generator generating some more. So at least round 2, they can't score with the fact that you're hitting them quite a bit of suppression. And then you've got some impact between the Ion and the DLTs, as well as the DLT and the Death Troopers. So you at least have impact 4 between those 4. Din doesn't have impact, but he surges to crit. It's lethal, so he's good in melee. Vader's going to be good in melee with impact 2 as well, or like impact 3. And then Krennic's just, Krennic. He's there. And then the E-Web also has impact. So you've got quite a bit, enough of impact, I should say. And it's range 4, 5 dice at range 4, which is really good. Surgeon to crit. And so, yeah, just a fun little list. I know that Austin had a very similar list to this, and he did really well at the Iron Weld. So if you haven't watched Iron Weld, go ahead and check that out. But yeah, that is the first list. The second list is Darth Vader, the Commander. So I can't discriminate. You're going to have at least a list with him. So I decided to go with Darth Vader with push, saber throw, and burst of speed, because with Lord Vader, you got to have burst of speed. You just have to. And then I have saber throw in there because when he's got the immobilize, he's not moving at all. So having saber throw in there is going to be great. and having force push on there to be able to kind of push someone into him if he needs to, then that would be awesome. You're definitely want infiltrate in there, so you're going to be lacking tons of surges. It's a terrible thing, and with the fact that there's no aggressive tactics or anything like that now, or no bolster right now in Empire, it kind of sucks. So it is what it is. But I gave you Lord Vader because of the Infinite Courage bubble. And instead of Trusted Agent, if you wanted to do Inspiring Presence to be able to give your Dewbacks that Infinite Courage as well, that could work. I'll just go ahead and do it just in case. Agent Callus has improvised orders into the fray and environmental gear so that he stays alive quite a bit longer, giving him the ability to spin those surges offensively or defensively. You've got the Stormtrooper squads. You got 2 of them with the KX and Imperial March. So move at speed 2 and then move at speed 3. So let's see, that's 8. So that's 14 inches of movement, and then with charge. So that's not too bad. And you're probably not going to spend a lot of time shooting with them. But if you did want to shoot with them at some point, if you just wanted to give, the Gideon Hask upgrade on there, that could be good. Because if you do Agent Callus, where you can, direct a Core Trooper unit, and you have a Core Trooper unit with Gideon Hask, that could allow you to give out another core unit in order. So then both, riot squads could technically have the orders if they needed to. So it's a great way of being able to put out a ton of orders without putting down a command card. But I just needed to save points, so just went with the cheap old riot squads with the KX series droids, giving you 6 dice basically in melee. You've got 2 snowtrooper squads with the T7 Ion Trooper and Imperial March as well. You've got a Stormtrooper unit with the DLT. You've got 2 Naked Scout Troopers. You've got 3 Dewbacks. You've got 1 with HQ Uplink and the Flame, another one with just the Flame, and then a third one with Tenacity and the Blaster Rifle. So that way you can get a little bit of chip damage with range 4 stuff with the Dewback Rider there, the Stormtroopers here, and yeah, that's about it. But it is 12 activations, so you're doing quite a bit, and it's a great way to kind of not out-activate, but you've got tons of melee threats between all 3 Dewbacks and Vader and Callus, and then you've got a little bit of range stuff between, again, maybe some Dewbacks with the Flame and or the RT-97C, and some Ions, Snowtroopers, as well as the Stormtrooper with the DLT. So shooty and melee, it's a great combination with the Dewbacks. And there's 3 of them. And the New Ways to Motivate is going to be a great card to bring with them. If you need any questions, like Bunker Assault would be great, Breakthrough would be great, I think Shifting would be pretty good. And then, let's see, I think with the last one, with Din and Vader and all that good stuff, Breakthrough, Shifting is going to be good. Even Close the Pocket could be okay, because again, you can move so far with the Dewbacks. With shifting priorities, if you've had, Destroy Enemy Base, which could also be okay in here, especially with Din moving speed 3, and you had maybe Destroy the Enemy Base and Shifting, round 2, kind of let them score the middle if they put the base in the middle, so that way you can move that POI closer to the base, and then you spur all of your Dewbacks over there, and then you just kind of charge in with Din, trying to do what he can to score, maybe both if possible. But yeah, that is both of these, and then the last one. This one seems like just more of a fun list. I don't know how competitive it would be, but you have Moff Gideon with the Darksaber. For a little bit of melee, you've got General Veers with Agent, Trusted Agent, and Improvised to be able to give Callus an order. Callus is into the fray in environmental gear. Again, because charge, and you don't want anything slowing him down. You've got 3 riot squads with Imperial March and the KX droids. With the fact that, Agent Callus giving them an order, and then, you'd be able to give them an order from a card. You'd be able to possibly get off Ruthless, which is a great word, because anything activating within range 2 in line of sight of Moff Gideon, any of the Stormtroopers that have a face-up order token, they can take a wound to make a free action. So you'd be able to take a wound, you're rolling 5 dice instead, but you're moving a ton. And then you already have charge on there, so you don't have to ever get rid of this card if you don't want to. To gain charge, you can just always keep it. And that way, in case you take out that unit, you can still move speed 3 towards a POI. I've got 2 Dewbacks in here with the flame rifle, and then you have an ATST with Weiss, link targeting array, and then all of the weapons. And then you have a Dark Trooper squad with the assault cannon and the regular Imperial Trooper. Now, if you don't want Trusted Agent in there because you don't really care about giving Callus an order, then maybe you can give, the Dark Troopers program loyalty. But usually, if you're going to use the 2-pip that Moff Gideon has to, like, you have something I want to transport the Dark Troopers, they're not going to be at range 2 of Gideon. So that's why I don't usually put them on there. So, yeah, that's why it's just them. So it's technically 11 activations, but it's going to be 10. So if your opponent has 12 activations, you still get a pass token, which is really, really nice, even though you're going to have 11 and they've got 12. The perks of having Dark Troopers now. But the fact that the ATST can get guidance a standby, and then, Moff Gideon has a card, Moment of Consideration, where you also give a free standby to a heavy. So you give the ATST a standby when it's in a great position, and then hopefully they go, you shoot with all of your guys, and you have an aim from link targeting array, and then now you go with, with the ATST, you move and maybe shoot everything, and then you guidance another standby with Veer. So now the ATST is possibly attacked 3 times. The Imperial Dark Troopers are definitely attacking twice. Once with a standby maybe, and then another one with moving and shooting, and then another time. So possibly 3 with the Dark Troopers that turn as well. And then all the Dewbacks are going. And the fact that you can give it to Core as well. Agent Callus is going to give 1. So you've given out, you've given a entourage to Dark Troopers. All right, they get 1. Now, if you issue an order with the card, it's going to get a standby. So you'd have to issue that one, issue the ATST, and then maybe you issue one of the riot squads. Maybe if you want better order control, you just entourage, don't give them a standby. Give an order to the ATST, give it an aim and a standby. And then the other 2 to the Stormtrooper squads, and then Agent Callus also gives an order to the riot squad. So all of your core have an order, all of your heavies have an order. So it's just your support, your operative, and your commanders in the bag. And again, 11 activations. You're shooting quite a bit with this. So hopefully it's going to be good because you're laying down 6 suppression alone with the grenade launcher. That turn, hopefully suppressing something. You might not, you don't surge obviously to hit, but, if anything, spend the standby, you get on aim, you shoot everything. Your next turn, you aim and you shoot everything. And then you guidance a standby, you don't have an aim, but at least you can shoot everything again, because now General Weiss is no longer a exhaustible card, it's just a card. So this one with Moff Gideon and ATSD is so good. So, alright, yeah, that is it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Definitely head on over to the Patreon and help support the channel big time. Head on over to the Discord and kind of join up. It's fun to be able to, see what you guys are doing. Definitely keep talking more, because then every time that you do, you will level up and get more chances to win the next giveaway. So, yeah, thanks, guys, so much. I hope that you guys have a good rest of your week and have a great weekend. Y'all take it easy, and, yeah, may the Force be with you.